Right, hello everyone, I'm ProductShard, and today we're going to be looking at this week's Gun of the Week. Now, normally I kind of have the gameplay put in before me, before I start recording, and I'm like looking at it and I'm watching, and I like to shout things out like, oh, this is why I'm using this thing, or whatever that's going on in the gameplay. But this week I've literally got no time because today we just recorded the first episode of MLD, which is Major League Defusing, which is going to be like a little tournament thing that I'm doing for Ninja Defusing. So I'm doing this in pretty short notice, but I do want to get it out today because I do normally do it on a Monday. So I'm recording this pretty late, and so I have no idea what gameplay will be in front of you. But all the gameplay I have recorded is mostly Mercilesses with the SMR ACOG, which is this week's Gun of the Week. There's a pretty nice clip that will be in there somewhere. I don't know if I'll put it at the beginning or the end, or whether it will just be in the middle. But I get a nice little clip, which was pretty fun. But this week's Gun of the Week is going to be the SMR ACOG. Now the SMR is a semi-auto weapon, and actually does the most damage out of every gun on the game. Well, not every gun, but every assault rifle on the game. And that makes it very, very powerful, and it has a massive, massive range, which means putting it kind of like being accurate with it means that at basically any range you can get a two-shot kill. Unlike the FAL, which is way more about firing quickly and getting a 2 to 3 shot kill. Now, what you're going to be using this week is the SMR with the ACOG scope, and that's basically it. I like to put on the, what's it called, the quick draw grip as well. But don't put on select fire. You're going to be using your trigger finger this week because it does make it way more accurate. Put in the semi-auto on there. Well, no, the fully auto, like the select fire, means it's firing at a kind of decent rate, but also means that the recoil is much higher, which makes it a little bit more difficult for you and yourself. But even if you're not very good at using your trigger finger, using this will actually make you much, much better. My trigger finger is absolutely horrendous, and using this and actually like trying to use it and be accurate and not maybe just fire as quick as possible, but actually doing it at a kind of slow rate and getting the recoil to be almost negligible, and kind of firing at a nice steady pace rather than just spraying just absolutely spraying it out. Now you can obviously spray when you're really, really close and you're just trying to hip fire at someone, but you don't really need to, and you're going to be trying to get stuff at range. Now the ACOG is just a really, really nice scope on this gun. Not many people use the ACOG in this game, and I don't really know why. It is actually like a really, really nice scope to use, and if you didn't know, the ACOG scope actually reduces recoil by the same amount as a grip. So having the ACOG scope on there is actually going to be reducing the recoil for you, and makes it again that little bit more accurate. But oh wait, I was going to mention something about the gameplay, but then I thought, wait a second. You're not going to be watching the same thing as me, but there's someone else in this game using an ACOG, which is cool. Now, using the ACOG is obviously, again, going to have to make you play a lot further away, because when you get close to people, the ACOG's going to, the kind of sensitivity when you're aiming in, because it zooms in further, is less. So when you normally would move a meter left aiming, you'll only move like 0.75 meters or something. So it makes you much, much more accurate over range, but when you do get close, it's a lot more difficult. And that means you're going to obviously have to try and play defensively, play quite far back, and like when you do start doing this, this is probably the gun I've got the most merciless medals with in like the hour and a half I played with it. I liked the SMR when I was using it originally and when I got it gold. That was quite a while ago, and I did like the fully auto to be on there, and I put a suppressor on it and stuff. And I used to just slide around with the stock and just hold the trigger down, and it would eventually fire. But even with fully auto on, I did have to play really, really defensively, because even with fully auto, the kind of fire rate is really, really slow, which is kind of weird. But pulling my trigger finger, I've actually learned to do it like quicker than having fully auto on, which is kind of weird. And oh wait, I'm watching the clip. Oh no, it's not that one. But yeah, pull it like you can. What do you do? Well, yeah, you can condition your finger to like pull the trigger faster than actually the fully auto will go itself, and that is kind of useful, especially for if you use pistols and stuff. that can help onto that if you use the no, what is it? The no, this is the SMR, the SVU, that's the one. If you use the SVU, the same thing will come into play, that it will actually be just being able to pull your finger and the trigger really quick. Is going to help you out a lot, depending on your playstyle, but if you're not very good at it, this game will actually help you to, well, using this gun will actually help you to condition yourself to be using it better, and is actually useful in the long run, especially if you, as I said, use pistols, or you like to have a secondary on your class, and you can normally get the pistol out, but you need something like a Cap 40, which is fully auto. Instead, you can choose something like the TAC 45, which is only a 2-shot kill, and if you get your trigger finger to be firing as fast as you can get it, then the 2-shot kill is actually going to be much more effective than shooting with a Cap 40, especially at range when you're going to be much more accurate. Now, again on the class, I like to run, what was I? Yeah, I was going for the UAV Hunter Killer Care Package, and I had the Engineer on there, which is always great fun, because you can re-roll the care packages and stuff, and that just means that you're getting kill streaks all the time, and I wasn't expecting to get kill streaks, kill streaks, I wasn't even expecting to get a Bloodthirsty, to be perfectly honest. So when I got Mercilesses and stuff, that was quite surprising to me, and I was actually getting quite a few care packages, which, when you do learn to play with this gun defensively, you will tear people up, and they will have no chance at range, because of just how accurate and how powerful this gun is. And you do not have to worry about range. You could always put a suppressor on this, and it would only reduce the range by a tiny amount, and you'd still be able to kill people in 2 shots from basically cross map, unless you're on maybe downhill. What's another big map? I can't think of it. Maybe drone. If you were cross map on drone, you might get a 3-shot kill, but because of the accuracy and because of being zoomed in with the ACOG, it's not going to be difficult to kill people at range. So that's basically what you're going to be using, or what I was using, and it was pretty spur of the moment. Like, it was probably a week or so ago that I decided to use this, because I did used to really like it, and I put it back on with the fully auto, and it was just so slow that I was just kind of sat there thinking, well, why do I use this, and why do I put fully auto on it and the select fire? So I just took it off, and like, the M8 should be a really good gun with ACOG, and it just isn't for some reason. I don't know why, but it makes me play like way more aggressive with an M8. Whereas the SMR, you do sit back and you do just play really slowly, because otherwise you will just die over and over again. So putting the ACOG just forces you to do that even more. And then when you come to use other weapons and other assault rifles, you'll actually be able to get better kill streaks and play a little bit more defensively, which is always useful, especially when you're trying to get the bigger kill streaks. When you're used to using an SMG or something, and you're running around and getting really close to people with an assault rifle, you're always going to be dying way more than you expect you should be, because you're so used to using an SMG. And just using the assault rifle and kind of thinking, oh, why am I dying so much, but also doing kind of well, because you can use them in that way, isn't going to teach you. You have to go to basically the complete extreme, and that will condition you to do it so much that when you do use an assault rifle, another assault rifle, you'll also do it with that one. So hopefully that should help you, especially if you're trying to get kill streaks with assault rifles and stuff. It's the highest kill streaks I've been going on, and I am terrible at getting them. So hopefully you guys should be going on much higher kill streaks than me. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a like if you do, or did, I guess. And thank you guys for watching, and I will see you again next time.